Welcome back, it's Seth here. So today I want to talk about something different. I want to talk about 5 things that you should buy if you're going to spend money. I know I'm usually focused on saving money and cutting back, but I thought why not make a video on this because I think this is also really important. Now, before I do dive deeper into this video, if you can, please hit the like button down below, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to help grow our channel. Now that you hit the like button, let's dive in. So diving into the first item that I think you should be spending your money on, and that is buying a good quality mattress. Getting a full night of sleep is the single most important habit for every single individual. And getting a 7 to 8 hours of sleep can definitely change the way you function on a daily basis. I personally need to do a bit better job of this. I'm not getting the full 7 hours of sleep, but that's usually due to work or me procrastinating. And every time I see a Brian Johnson video, that makes me feel more guilty. So it's really important that we're all getting our 7 to 8 hours of sleep and a good quality sleep. Getting enough sleep is really important and actually has a lot of benefits just besides making us more productive. Getting the 7 to 8 hours of sleep has a huge impact on our immune system. By getting enough sleep, you actually get sick less often. Also, by getting enough sleep, it's proven that it'll help you maintain a healthy weight level. So if you're trying to lose weight, sleep is really important. Moreover, it's also shown to reduce stress and improve your mood. And if that's not enough, it's also shown to reduce chronic illnesses, such as your chance of developing type 2 diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and stroke. So with all these benefits and becoming more productive, I think it's a no-brainer that we should be investing in a good quality mattress. Personally, starting off, I used to have those spring mattresses, which were cheap, and I thought they were a great deal because they're cheap. But in the end, I was sacrificing with my quality of sleep. Then I did a full 180 and bought a Tempur-Pedic. And I'll tell you, it makes a difference. I'm not telling you to go buy a super expensive mattress like a Tempur-Pedic. You can get a nice quality mattress for a lot less price, but ensure that your body's actually comfortable on the mattress so that you can get that good quality of sleep. Now, moving on to the second item that I'll spend money on, and that is buying a nice, reliable used car. I personally think that people don't realize how much money actually goes towards purchasing their vehicle. It's actually so much that it makes up the 3rd largest expense category for an average individual, which accounts for 15% of your total spending. When it comes to cars, I think people are just irrational. For some reason, people love saying that they have the newest, latest car with the newest gadgets. But here's the thing, Auto Trader's Q4 report shows that a brand new car in Canada on average costs $63,439. And a used car on average costs around $35,201. Now, that's a huge gap between a brand new car and buying a used car. And Globe and Mail found that on average, a Canadian is paying $880 per month on a brand new car that they finance. And 30% of the individuals that finance their new car are paying over $1,000 per month. That's way too much money for a car that's gonna go down in value. This really doesn't make sense to me when you can pick up a Honda, Toyota, or Mazda from anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 every day, all day. And these brands that I'm talking about are actually really reliable. They'll run anywhere from 250,000 kilometers to up to 350,000 kilometers and even more. And let me show you an example. Let's say you buy a brand new Honda Civic for $47,000 and you finance that car at 6.5% over 60 months. The average car payment per month is going to run you around $783. And the total interest you're going to pay over the 60 months is $6,959. Now let's compare this to a used Honda that you're picking up for $20,000. At the same interest rate of 6.5% over 60 months, your monthly payment is going to be $352, and your total interest over the 60 months is going to be $3,131. That's a huge difference on a monthly basis, and you're going to pay a lot less interest over the term of the loan. One thing that people also forget is that you're also going to lose money on depreciation. So by buying a brand new car, you're going to lose most of the money within the first 3 years of ownership. However, if you buy a car that's 3 to 4 years old, you'll miss the large depreciation loss and actually lose less money over time on depreciation. So when it comes to buying a car, our goal should be that we're buying a nice, reliable used car and nothing super fancy, because a fancy car is going to run you a lot on those monthly payments and a lot more on maintenance in the long run. Now, moving to the third item that I think you should really buy, and that is education. I know this is probably one of the most boring items on the list. However, I think this is probably one of the best items you want to buy to get the most return. You can buy a nice, used, reliable car, and yes, that will save you money. And you can get a nice mattress, which will make you more productive and probably get more work done. However, the savings are going to be capped. Whereas in terms of education, the sky's the limit. By getting a higher level education, you're opening the doors of getting a really nice paying job with promotions, starting a really good side hustle, or even starting a full-blown business. I'll personally give you my own example. I got my honors of Bachelor of Commerce at McMaster University, which cost me around $45,000. After graduating, I started working at a large accounting firm where I decided to pursue my CPA. And getting a CPA would probably cost you around $10,000. However, because I negotiated initially when I started my job, the firm would pay for my CPA. So let's say I didn't pay for my CPA. Now, the CPA would cost me $10,000. Initially, before getting my CPA, I was making around $50,000 at the accounting firm. That's a $10,000 pay increase just by getting my CPA. Now that I have my CPA, that also opened me up to get a senior position at the firm, which gave me a promotion and another large increase in my salary. Now that I have my CPA and I was working at a large firm, this opened doors for me to get a job at any other firm or any other corporation. And I was getting job offers that were up to 6 figures now, just because I had my CPA and some job experience. Now that's one path that I could have taken. I could have gone another route by opening up my own little firm. Most sole practitioners that are CPA are making anywhere from $150,000 to $300,000 per year. So by spending another $10,000 to get my CPA, I just opened so many doors which allow me to make a lot more money. So I definitely recommend that you get a higher education in an area where you think you can make more money, or any other new skill set that will help you to increase your income, start a side hustle, or even a business. Now, moving on to the fourth item that I think you should be spending your money on, and that is buying index funds. In my opinion, index funds is a must purchase and it should not be delayed. You can buy a low-cost S&P 500 index, which will give you an average return of 10% per year. So if you're someone who's 25 years old and you just invest $500 per month every single month until you're 65, you'll have over $1.6 million for your retirement. And all you have to do is just invest every single month, nothing else. The thing that most people ignore is that as you move up in your career, you don't just have to invest $500 a month. You can invest more, so that means you'll have way more than $1.6 million by the time you retire. I always hear a counter argument from young individuals saying that why should they be investing in the S&P 500 index when they can buy individual stocks that'll give you higher return, such as Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, or SpaceX. And my answer to that is that you could get a higher return buying an individual stock. But the issue is that you have to really stay on top of the company, their financials, and where they're really headed to ensure that your position actually makes sense. Where buying a low-cost index fund, they rebalance themselves, so you really don't have to worry. And by buying a low-cost index fund, you're pretty much guaranteeing yourself that you're going to retire a millionaire, if not a multimillionaire. So every time that you question yourself if you should be investing in an index fund like the S&P 500, just think that by investing in the index fund, you're buying the 500 biggest companies in the United States, and now you're becoming a shareholder. That should be just enough motivation for you to get started. Now, moving on to the fifth item that you should really spend your money on, and that is your health. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to take care of your health. The old saying that health is wealth does not get more true as you age. And something that really caught me off guard, a 2019 study found that 88% of Americans are not metabolically healthy. That cause conditions that impact the quality of their life. So majority of Americans are unhealthy. And the cause to this is quite simple and actually quite obvious. The main reason why most Americans are unhealthy is the large consumption of processed foods, large intake of sugar, consumption of alcohol and tobacco, and not exercising enough. To reverse this and ensure that you're living a healthy lifestyle, you should cut out your processed foods and replace them with whole foods. So that means no more late night McDonald's runs. Also look into reducing your sugar intake. I'm saying reduce because for most people, it's very hard to completely cut it out. So if you reduce it over time, that will really help you to improve your health. And in my opinion, if you can stop alcohol and tobacco use, that's probably the best benefit. If not, at least reduce it on a daily basis. And the last thing that I think is really important is to get a gym membership. It's been proven that if you go to the gym 3 times a week, and these sessions are anywhere from 45 minutes to 60 minutes, you can reduce the chance of premature death by 13 to 30%. Also, you can reduce your blood pressure, manage your blood sugar, and improve your mental health. Something that I'll add to ensure that you stay healthier and prevents any future health problems is to always get an annual checkup done with your family doctor. Also, go visit your dentist on a regular basis so that you have all your cleaning done and making sure that you don't have any cavities, which can lead to future more health problems. And last but not least, something that's not really talked about, I definitely think there should be a focus on mental health. And that means either getting a therapist or having a good group of friends where you can talk about life. I don't think that people put enough emphasis on this because having a good mental health can really restructure your life. It can mean the difference of living your life fully to just getting by. By being healthy and adopting a healthy lifestyle, this can really help you to live a fulfilling life and really help you to achieve all the goals that you've been desiring. Now, those were the top 5 things that I would spend money on, but there's one more bonus one that I want to add. This may be directed more to my male audience. However, I think this applies to everyone. And that is that I think everyone should be buying a watch. I know what you're thinking. A watch? That's a little odd. Why do I need a watch? What type of return am I getting from a watch? Well, personally, I've been wearing a watch every single day since the first day I started high school. For me, a watch holds a lot of value. By having a watch, I feel that I can be way more accountable and I can stay on time. And by having a watch, it really helps me to realize how valuable time is. I don't really view time as going forward. I actually kind of view it as going backwards because every minute that goes by means I have one less minute to be more productive and get more things done. And I know that you can make the argument that you can see the time on your phone, so that's more than enough. However, your phone is more of a distraction than something that keeps you accountable. Most people, when they look at their phone, instantly grab their phone and start scrolling TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter, or X, whatever they call it nowadays. So in my opinion, I think everyone should be wearing a watch. And you don't need a fancy watch that most YouTubers have or these channels talk about. You can get a nice cheap Casio, and a Casio is more than enough nice watch that'll keep you accountable. Or if you're someone who's into gadgets and tech, I'd even recommend getting an Apple Watch, which has all the cool fitness functions and is connected to your phone so you can see what texts are coming in or calls that are coming in to help you stay on track as well. So on that note, these are all the things that I spend money on to get the most return, not just in money, but in the way that I live my life. And if you guys enjoy this video, please stay tuned for future videos. Until next time, remember to keep investing.